Dobra, lecimy. Szkoda dnia. Morderstwo się samo nie rozwiąże. The fuck, moja postać naprawdę kuleje. Albo przynajmniej może mi się tak wydaje. Muszę zbadać okno.
Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo. The glass is pristine and utterly silent.
Shit, I know this. Kuno gets this shit. Ballistic shit. Science shit.
Matematyka wzrokowa. Zaraz, żeby tego nie zjebać. Która miała akcję matematyka wzrokowa. Co jeszcze miała matematyka? Każdy bonus się liczy. Marynarka oficerska. Powinny już być z 70%. Już się bardziej nie da.
Light from
Shit, I know this. Kuno gets this shit.
92%, fuck yeah.
Ballistic shit.
Lecimy.
Science shit.
golden light melts away into the blue, glassy darkness of your mind. In it are two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman on the single bed.
W jakiej są pozycji?
Like the witness said, the man is kneeling, the woman is on her back. It's the night of March 4th and a shot has just been fired. The man looks directly at the woman. The shot's possible directions converge in his mouth, a ray cast from somewhere outside, entering his brain, ending him.
Skąd pada strzał?
From the roof outside, location A prime. The glass fractures around the bullet hole. Shards face inwards like a corona behind the woman's back.
Przyjrzyj się upiornym postaciom.
The man does not know the bullet has entered his brain. He never will. Death comes faster than the realization.
Przyjrzyj się punktowi A, dachowi.
The ray cast from the man's mouth unravels into a fan of possible directions, all on the roof at first. The shot could have come from any of them. This is composite location A prime, most likely of the origin points.
Czy na zewnątrz nie powinny pozostać ślady spalania prochu?
There could have been. Then the rain and slush and wind washed it away. This was more than a week ago.
Czyli jestem tak na 80% pewien, że strzał padł właśnie z dachu.
72%, with a weapon that's good for medium range, like a rifle or sports pistol. This is a good short distance, but not too short. The perpetrator aimed with their back against the railing, or possibly kneeling for precision. This would explain why it only took them one shot. The lights were on in here. Outside it was dark. It was like shooting fish in an aquarium, a well-lit aquarium. The victim opened his mouth to let the bullet in. Neither of them would have seen anything outside in the darkness, too busy with their own bodies.
Czy strzał mógł paść wewnątrz pomieszczenia z jakiejś mniejszej odległości?
Point X would contradict the woman's testimony, rendering the entire proposition void. These figures would be wiped out, detective.
Istnieją jakieś argumenty przeciwko A, dachowi?
None that you've found thus far, but that doesn't mean there aren't any.
Czy miejsce oddania strzału mogło być gdzie indziej, gdzieś dalej?
That's a 28%, yes. In this model, the shot could have come from a greater distance. Nothing excludes the possibility. Should we extrapolate to include every possible point of origin in Martinez?
Ekstrapoluj kąt tak, aby uwzględnić cały Martinez.
According to your map of the district, this shot could have come from a wide angle of locations, starting with the northern edge of the abandoned boardwalk, ending with an islet in the bay. Let's call them B prime. B prime for boardwalk, B double prime for Land's End, and B triple prime for the islet, detective. There may be smaller points in between, but those are too fine to zoom in on.
Przyjrzyj się punktowi B-Prime, promenadzie.
700 meters away. The likeliest of these B positions, 20% chance. A skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on inside, we're talking military training. At that distance, the perpetrator would have had to take wind direction into account.
Przyjrzyj się krańcowi.
1.2 kilometers away, the least likely of these positions. Let's say 3%. A truly skilled sniper could have done it, possibly from a tent. No, too far-fetched.
Przyjrzyj się wysepce.
1.2 kilometers away. 1 kilometer away, an unlikely point of origin. Beyond the docks somewhere, on an islet in the Bay of Martinez perhaps. There are islets there, badly charted as they may be. The shot would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood. There is an extremely narrow field of view from the bay to the window, between Rue de Saint-Ghislain 8B and 33A. The angle would have been extreme and access to the islets is questionable, but it is a possibility.
Jaki jest ten cholerny punkt początkowy?
It's not the roof, and had it come from the coast, you would have probably stumbled upon it while you were running around over there. This leaves the island in the bay.
Kuno myślał, że strzał mógł paść z wysepki.
Islet, like a Gimp Island. I think you're onto something. The shot could have come from there.
Skąd wiedziała, jak to zrobić?
Kuno's got no fucking clue. You need to pig this shit, cop style.
Czyli jeszcze jest wysepka, tak? Na której nie byłem w ogóle. Czy ja jestem chociaż w połowie gry? To także jedno z niewielu miejsc, w Martinez, w których nie byłem.
Cool shit, Sub-Zero shit. Kuno's listening, you got his attention, so what's next?
Wygląda na to, że powinniśmy udać się na tą wyspę.
The boy squints, looking into the cold distance across the water.
Kuno, ruszajmy na tą pieprzoną wyspę.
Yeah, why fucking not? Just one question though.
Jak to zrobimy?
How are you gonna get to the island? Kuno has his ways, but that ain't for your fat old ass.
Dlaczego niby stara spasiona dupa? Nie jesteśmy tacy spasieni. Może pomoże nam ktoś we wsi rybackiej, grubo ponad połowę gry. No to nie wiem, zobaczymy w jakim tempie to będzie szło.
There's this lady
Jak
in the
pójdą
village.
rzuty.
She, yeah, there are boats there. You go, do shit there. You'll get one on the coast.
Może pomoże mi ta laska z mieczem. Mrugnij, odejdź. Bez kitu. Ona miała łódź. Strach wyjść na zewnątrz. Tak po takiej rozpierdusze. Czy ja chcę zagadać z Gartem?
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you.
Fucking cleaned it.
What a dick, dancing around in his maid uniform.
Naprawdę byłem zbyt rozkojarzony, żeby to zauważyć.
Oh, so cool. Cool cop strikes again. Well, I didn't expect someone in your line of work to notice the lowly efforts of the service industry anyway, so... You know, I was about to congratulate you on your great aim, but seeing as you're so special already, I'm going to tell you the truth instead. You missed, and you suck. It was an awful shot.
Fakt, to był beznadziejny strzał.
I hope at least your partner is recovering quickly. Also, you're staying here for free now. That's right, this establishment supports cops. Even cops like you.
Znowu reputacja w pizdu. Gdzie się wszyscy podzieli.
Oh, you know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're not good for business.
Czy Lena i Morel wciąż są w mieście?
Ah, them. Nice people, but no. Lena said they were going back to Jamrock. I saw them pass by outside. This was before the fight started. I'm glad she got out of here before all that. Bullets flying and stuff. People inside were quite terrified, you know. I had to take action and step outside too.
Ale nie zakończyliśmy poszukiwań straszyka.
I mean, you're a detective. Perhaps you can track them down. Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know what the fuck this is about, but you should chill down, pig. You'll get this Lena fuck on false charges.
You'll see her again one day. You know it. Things went like they did for a reason.
Oh, fine, hero cop. Lena left a forwarding address. 1113 Tabernacle Road in Jamrock. If you see them again, do give them my best.
Co się stało z mężczyzną w okularach?
I don't remember everyone who comes here, and many people wear sunglasses inside lately. Must be a fad.
Swoją drogą, gdzie byłeś, kiedy to się wydarzyło?
Where was I? How do you think I know the crazy shit you pulled off out there? I was there, out on the balcony, protecting my establishment.
That's actually true. You remember him from the corner of your eye, right behind you on the whirling balcony.
So, yeah, I guess I'm what you call a badass.
It really took courage. Don't pick at him.
Tak, myślę, że jesteś skurczybykiem.
Yeah, I don't know. Clients were panicking. And also, I guess I sort of found out that I don't give a shit if I die.
He means it. It's not just boasting. It's something he discovered about himself, stepping onto that balcony.
Dobrze, dziękuję.
No problem. They'll come back. They always do.
Do widzenia. No, tego się nie spodziewałem. Myślałem, że spierdoli. Tych dwóch zostało. Ten, który się do mnie nie odzywa. Kim on kurwa w ogóle jest? Chłop siedzi od początku gry i gada tylko o hajsie. Pieniądze trzeba inwestować z głową, za pieniądze można mieć udziały, wyciągnąć jeszcze większe pieniądze, zarobić dość pieniędzy na czas, kiedy będziesz stary, za stary, żeby zarabiać. Pieniądze rządzą światem. Praca za darmo nie prowadzi do pieniędzy, nie ma czegoś takiego jak pieniądze za darmo. W pieniądzach chodzi głównie o cyferki, w pieniądzach chodzi tak naprawdę głównie o zaufanie. Wiesz, zawsze chodzi o pieniądze, trzeba wydawać pieniądze, żeby je zarabiać. Ostatecznie tylko pieniądze się liczą. Mówił, że pieniądze szczęście nie dają, ale to tylko znaczy, że mają pieniędzy za mało. Pieniądze trzeba inwestować z głową, za pieniądze można mieć udziały. A, dobra, to już się powtarza. Dobra, zostało, widzę. Andrzej
Hi
jest.
again, gendarme.
Nic mi więcej nie
Bye bye,
powiesz.
gendarme.
Tutaj strzelaliśmy. Może nie powinien biegać, bo jeszcze moja postać się połamie.
Seeing you approach,
Alain.
the bruised man raises his beer can in welcome.
Oh no, you fly solo on this one? Those guys have been going around town, crying about their new asshole. Kuno can't handle this emotional shit when he's off the lightning.
Wyczuł, jakby ktoś im przegwintował odbytnicę.
Oh, it's you. Didn't think we'd see you walking anytime soon. Elaine, look. It's the cowardly cop.
Huh?
He's very, very drunk.
Nic mi nie jest.
Does he look like he's okay?
He does not. His unshaven face is almost grey, and he reeks of piss, sweat, and booze. While still alive, he has abandoned his own body to decomposition.
Jak mocno oberwał.
He wasn't. That's the thing. Titus, Theo, Dennis, Angie, Lizzie, they're all gone. But he got away without a scratch.
There's nothing left. Nothing.
He has lost the will to live. It's survivor's guilt. He feels like he should have died with the others. He may kill himself if he doesn't find a new purpose, or else go on in this way. Not dead, but not really living either.
To trudno, ale musisz ruszyć dupą i to dokończyć.
What?
Colonel Wild Pines, wszyscy ludzie odpowiedzialni za śmierć twoich przyjaciół. Tak zostawisz ich w spokoju?
Sons of bitches.
If you think this will keep him from offing himself, I'll make sure to remind him. So far, I've just been pouring whiskey in him to keep him sedated.
Co teraz będzie z chłopakami Hardiego, skoro Titus nie żyje?
Titus is
Titus.
fucking dead.
What's gonna happen to the Hardy boys? Look around you, man. This shit is done. There are no more Hardy boys.
I co, powrócicie tak po prostu do targania kontenerów w porcie?
No, man. I don't know. I guess the Union will still be policing the neighborhood, but who's gonna do it now?
Wskaż na Elena. Musisz go tylko trzeźwić i tyle.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll see what he does with the whole Shanky business.
Trzymajcie się, panowie.
Yeah, you too. It's a rough world out there. It's not easy being a cop. We were too hard on you. We shouldn't have fucked with you like we did. You got between us and a lot of bullets in that fight. Matinees owes you one.
Hear that, Detective Pig? You're a fucking hero now.
I wouldn't go that far, but you got a home here if you need it. And 2 busted up Union men who are grateful to you. So take care, okay?
He really means it.
Ciekawe, czy jakbym inaczej rozegrał strzelaninę, czy bym na przykład się w ogóle nie wtrącał.
Kuno's gonna scram now. Can't be seen with pigs. Can't shit on Kuno's good name. So yeah, see you on the C4 island. Try not to get shot or drunk again. Kuno's counting on your ass.
Kuno will rejoin your party later.
Myślałem, że będzie ze mną łaził cały czas. Co to za napis?
The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. This was Cindy the Skull.
Zdaje się, że Cindy Czacha znalazła w końcu słowo do swego arcydzieła.
The red-dyed fuel oil glistens. This was painted very recently.
Czuję ciężki olej napędowy.
And blood. Some of it may even be yours. Looks like a giant mop was used to turn it into lettering. Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable?
Podpal grafity zapalonym papierosem. O kurwa, mocne.
The fuel oil catches fire immediately with an ominous hiss. A bright orange flash across the surface of the letters. Black smoke rises from the burning message. What if the words are not directed at the people of Martinez, or even the coalition aerostatics above the city? They're meant for something above even those.
Disco Elysium? Nie wiem, dziwnie mi to pasuje, ale spróbuję.
The flames warm your face. Then, a gust of cold wind, and the fire falters.
It's time to go to the island.
Slowly, the flames subside, the fuel burning out. The air still smells of mazout and springtime.
Odejdź. A ty gdzie zgubiłeś kumpla?
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man? Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same.
Gdzie jest René?
The prick is gone. I can barely believe it. But he's really gone.
Zawinął? Dokąd się zawinął?
Hell, most likely. He was an absolute Kent.
Kurwa, René też zabili? Co, został zabity podczas Trybunału Najemników?
Oh, he would have liked that. Violent lives ending violently. That's how he wanted to go. Sadly, it was not the case.
Jak właściwie umarł?
His hungry little heart finally gave out. The dock workers found him in the guard booth this morning. Wasn't even supposed to be working for another week, but he just had to prove how tough he is.
Wait, did he push himself to prove he can pull his weight and doesn't need handouts?
Guess he was about to head home, 'cause when the dock workers found him, he was wearing civilian clothes and not the coquette uniform I saw him in all the time.
Ostatni dzień przed emeryturą.
Sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me off. Now the joke's on him, 'cause he's gonna be buried without it.
Czy to też moja wina? Myśli pan, że pchnęła go do tego nasza rozmowa o jego pracy?
No. René was the most stubborn man in Revachol. Nothing you or I could say would ever push him to do anything. The man was completely immovable.
He has doubts, but right now, he just wants to move on and not think about it.
Naprawdę był aż tak straszny?
I repeat, an absolute cant. Even his old army buddies didn't want him around. He was like an old viper. The only people who could stand to be around him were Jenny and me. She saw something in him when we were just kids and she never lost sight of it. And I thought if the most beautiful being in the world can love him, then there must be something worth holding on to.
Kochał go pan?
We've hated each other our entire lives. So much, in fact, that... Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. You know what his last words to me were?
Pewnie nic szczególnego, jakieś do zobaczenia jutro.
In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without trial. That's what he said to me. He lived a cunt, and he died a cunt. Let's leave it at that.
Ech, proszę o coś na pamiątkę u pańskiego przyjaciela. Daj mu zdjęcie Rennego i dziewczyny.
Let me see. This was 60 years ago. We all went to that parade. Young René looked so happy, and Jenny... I'm sorry, officer. I just... Thank you. Thank you for this little memorabilia. It really means the world to me.
Moje najszczersze kondolencje.
It is what it is. Part of life, really. But to know someone for 79 years, then one day they're just gone. I just don't know anymore. About anything, really. But you must need something.
Szkoda, że René nie żyje. Chciałem spytać go o konwalię.
René wasn't really what you'd call a botanist, officer. And believe me, he didn't like insulindian lilies.
Of course he didn't. Flowers are for pansies. Stop wasting time with them.
Zaraz, insulidiańskich lilii?
That's their old name, dating back to the time of kings and crests, and all that other stuff he loved so much.
Czemu ich nie lubił?
There were many reasons, but mostly it was the communards. They called them the bells of revolution. I guess in the end, the insulindian lilies were just another piece of the old Insulinde. The royalists had to surrender to the Mazovian insurgents. It doesn't really matter anymore.
But you feel the dried flower in your hand somehow still does matter, although not to this sad old man.
Chciałbym porozmawiać trochę o René, jeśli nie ma pan nic przeciwko.
Yes? What about René?
A dobra, moje
It
najszczersze
is what
kondolencje.
it is. I just don't know anymore.
Do widzenia
About
na jakiś
anything,
czas.
really.
Well... Nie spodziewałem się tego. Ale dobrze, to nie nasza wina. Coś tam na dole jest. Ciekawe co. Dobra, tutaj chyba nic nie będzie. Chyba idę na zatokę. Nie, do chat rybaków. Muszę dostać się tutaj, tak? Czyli do chat. Chodźmy. Znaczy mam jeszcze te questy, ale nie wiem jak to ogarnąć do końca. Z której strony to ugryźć? Czy ono mnie podwiezie na wyspę?
Officer, what happened? You're limping. Why are you limping? You look terrible.
Zostałem postrzelony w nogę, całkiem to było czadowe. Spodobałoby się pani.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
You didn't only get shot.
Drugiego strzału uniknąłem. Umiem też nie obrywać.
Well, good for you.
Trzeba było widzieć pozostałych, wszyscy nie żyją.
So you're a killer? That's good, I guess. I guess. Better than being dead.
Nie jestem mordercą, a policjantem.
I guess you are. I understand that's how it goes.
Mam do pani pytanie.
Of course. Can I help you with something?
A niech stracę. Gdzie jest przekonywanie? Spróbujmy, jakie mam wdziankę na przekonywanie. Coś na pewno było. Plus 1 do przekonywania. Marynareczka. Ale elegancko wyglądam, naprawdę. Elegancik. Albo niebieski płaszcz. Marynarka lepiej. Może bym pistolet zdjął. Tak, powiedziałbym, że nawet kulturalnie.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon. I can feel it.
To co?
The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind,
Musi
officer?
pani pójść na randkę z innym pijakiem i to pilnie.
You think she really needs more of that after a man died at sea?
Ale co mam w takim razie zrobić?
What if I told you it is actually possible to go on a date sober?
Proponujesz rozwiązanie, które jest wysoce eksperymentalne, może nawet niebezpieczne.
Before recorded history, men and women were able to do simple, very primitive things together sober. Acknowledge the situation and keep it basic.
Jestem pijakiem, może pani nie zauważyła, więc zwykle zapraszam ludzi na wspólne picie.
I have, and I don't really.
Ale tym razem chciałbym zaprosić panią na spacer.
Just a walk? I don't know, officer. I would not have taken you for an innocent perambulator.
Czy to oznacza tak, proszę pani? Pójdziemy na ten spacer?
Where would this walk take us, officer?
Znalazłem plażę z bardzo ładnym widokiem. Nazywa się Kraniec.
All right, I will walk with you. But you need to understand that nothing is going to happen. We're just walking.
Zwykły, tradycyjny spacer. Podoba mi się.
Me too. It's been ages since I just had a normal conversation with one of you guys. Stroll on the beach sounds nice. All right, I guess I'll be seeing you at Land's End in the evening, when it gets dark, all right?
She doesn't wait for an answer. You better get ready.
Zdałem sobie sprawę, że przez to nie mam jak dostać łodzi. Teraz muszę czekać do wieczora i iść na randkę.
Was that acceptance? It feels so normal, nourishing even.
Ale okej. Milutko. Zagadajmy jeszcze z
Our
Raczką.
tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you
Zostałem
with?
postrzelony.
Even I can see that. I told you not to bring your trouble with you, policeman. We've got troubles of our own here. Though I suppose you took the worst of it. Turns out you were your own ill omen.
Mój partner też został postrzelony. Wciąż leży w szpitalu.
What do you expect? Police officers get put into dangerous situations all the time. Sometimes they get shot. It's a rough trade you're in. Still, I'm sorry to hear about your partner. He seemed to be a decent enough sort.
Był moim przyrodnim bratem.
Losing a family member's tough, but we've all lost someone we are close to. Some more than once.
You could follow up on that, but suspect you're not going to pry much out of her.
Do widzenia, idę stąd. Dobra, czyli jednak mam chwilę. Znaleźć miejsce na antenę, żeby móc się połączyć z statkiem wojennym, okrętem wojennym. Gdzie można postawić wielką antenę? Jak dogadać się z jajkogłowcem?
Always my pleasure to be of assistance to the RCM. Godspeed, and if we don't meet again, bonne chance.
Ty mi nie pomożesz, oczywiście. Pytanie, czy miejsce na antenę jest tutaj, czy bardziej jednak od strony wybrzeża. Czyli tak, aresztowałem klasję, ale niewiele mi to daje, bo nie mam kima, więc nie mam jak z nią się nawet skontaktować. Ewentualnie może antena na dachu tego budynku. Czy będzie jakaś interakcja? Cokolwiek? To jest tylko drabina. Po której bym się pewnie wchodząc zabił. Tu nie mogę wejść. Dobra, czyli to nie jest to na pewno. Myślę, że bardziej na północ. Ewentualnie na dachu Erling. To też jest jakaś opcja. Szczerze mówiąc. Droga w dół ku śmierci jest tutaj długa. Dobra, czyli nie... Może wrócę do kościoła. Jak ugryźć temat w ogóle? Tutaj byłem? Wszędzie byłem. Powinienem płynąć na wyspę, ale to sobie zablokowałem. Z własnej, że tak powiem, ciekawości.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The concrete structure looks...
Czy jak złożył super łom?
An old door. The concrete...
Nie. Nic nie mogę z tym zrobić. Czy ja tutaj byłem? No cześć.
The woman gazes steadily at the waves. A sudden gust picks up her dark hair and lets it fall again, tousled, wild. She brushes a few stray locks from her eyes, and only then spots you approaching.
Aye, so here you are. The sun is up and the rain is... cold.
Czy to nie miało być wieczorem?
I don't mind. At least it keeps the
O nie,
drunks and
dobra.
teenagers at bay. Know that you're not the first guy to bring a girl to Land's End. This is what the locals call a make-out spot. That is not going to happen here today. I just want to make that clear, Dimples.
Her thoughts are still elsewhere, with distances across the water, and with the water itself.
Spójrz na nią. Wydaje się pani zaskoczona, że dotarłem.
Drinking men aren't known for keeping their appointments.
Za nic w świecie bym tego nie przegapił.
The world? Those big words men like to throw around as though they had weight. Let's just admire this piece of the world we happen to have in front of us, eh? Here it comes.
So fast as to make it seem like the weather turns at her command.
Zaraz pani to właśnie zrobiła?
Me? No, no, no. Just grew up on the sea. Know which way the wind's blowing and all. Knew the weather'd clear up once we got here. Otherwise, it would have been a less pleasant stroll, nay?
You should say something. Anything. Maybe the tequila sunset thing.
Wie pani, moje dawne wcielenie nazywało siebie mianem Tequila Sunset. Ciekawe czemu.
It's a common Revacholian expression. Means drinking yourself to death.
O,
Oh, indeed.
znalazłem niedawno ciało mężczyzny. On zdecydowanie miał moment godny miana Tequila Sunset.
And what about you? Keeping the name?
Myślę, że ostatnimi czasy zupełnie zadowala mnie Harrier Dubois.
Well then, Officer Dubois.
The sun reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay is mesmerizing. Your mind clears for a moment as your senses take it all in. Not just the glass skyscrapers, fragile looking in the shimmering air. River Esperance flowing into the bay.
Isn't it strange for this all-powerful thing, the sun, to be so generous towards us? You know, the best time to go out fishing is usually towards sunset, when the water is warmer.
The sun also falls on the Capeside tenements and war-torn ruins. An old sea fortress juts out, seemingly impervious to the sheen cast over everything else, shaking you out of your reverie. The sun does little for the dead, and those hopelessly lost in their own minds.
Dlatego nazwała pani swoją łódź Słońce.
Oh, that was a bit of pride and a bit of superstition.
Po prostu ciesz się widokiem.
There's salt in the air, and the cries of the gulls and the skuas, grit of the sand and the green glint of broken bottles. But still your gaze always returns to the dazzling streaks of light, wherever they may be reflected, their opulence.
It's bringing us spring, summer. It's entirely on our side, no matter what we do or who we are, for absolutely no reason. It's unlike no other powerful being, certainly no powerful organization or government. How can that be?
Cóż, coś musi być po naszej stronie.
I guess we wouldn't really be here if that thing wasn't on our team.
Maybe some general remarks before you say something big. Work your way up to the cool.
Czy mogę zboostować konceptualizację? Oczywiście, że mogę. Czy dało mi to cokolwiek? Nie, dało mi to 17%. Powiedz coś o słońcu.
Say what?
Oczywiście, że fail.
Something interesting? Impossible.
Ze słońcem był bardzo ładny. Przykro mi, że nie mam nic do dodania.
Thank you. Out there on the other planet, the sea, you start seeing things in a strange light. I'm glad I got to share it. You know, the wind's going to pick up soon, and I have to go, but... Have this. The sun's good, but it doesn't stick things. I've no use for it anymore.
Myśli pani, że możemy to kiedyś powtórzyć?
Doubt it. But thank you for the company.
This is as far as it goes with her. You'd need to put a year between you and your last drink for anything more.
Na pewno nie potrzebuje pani tego miecza?
No. Men around here are too drunk to pose a threat to me.
Dziękuję pani za ten wspólny spacer.
Farewell.
Czy gdybym nie pił całą grę, nie tknął tego alkoholu, czy udałoby mi się coś ugrać? Znam szabelkę. Szabla przy boku. To by było dobre miejsce na antenę, podejrzewam. Myślę, że musiałem poradzić sobie z tym rzutem o słońcu, z konceptualizacją, wyjść na romantyka, na kogoś ze zdrowym umysłem. Ale kurde. No nic ciekawe. Nie mam pomysłu na dwie rzeczy. Najważniejsze w sumie teraz, jak ogarnąć sprawę tej anteny i jak z jajkogłowym gadać, żeby wyrwać się z jego pętli i żeby podłączył łaskawie kabelek AUX. Jeszcze rozejrzył się tutaj. Brakuje mi Kima. Teoretycznie nie udzielił się aż tak bardzo, ale naprawdę mi go brakuje. Zawsze rzucił chociaż jakiś taki komentarz, coś na temat tego, jaki głupi jestem, czy coś. Może wiesz, ja też tylko raz wypiłem alkohol w grze. No dobra, 2 razy, jak potrzebowałem boosta do testu na otwarcie drzwi, ale to chyba wystarczy, żeby się nie udało. Dobra, panie Hardcore, czy mogę tutaj konceptualizację powtórzyć? Nie, ale mam teraz wysoką matematykę wzrokową.
A cracked jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a leitmotif below them both.
Co roztrzaskało to dzieło?
Unknown.
Kim jest ta starsza kobieta?
The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole.
Czyli w sumie królowa była omotana przez laskę, którą nazywali świętą.
Small figures of wise
tak naprawdę była tyranem.
common men. Worshippers walk up the stairs.
Czy to jest metafor dominacji kościoła nad państwami?
30 years, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail.
Motto jaką ma treść.
Below both women, in luminous black letters, après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau. And then along the left side, après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau.
Cofnij się.
The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression.
Dobra. Hardcore.
We're close. True, hard, full, car.
Naprawdę?
It's hardcore.
Nie wiem, co ci na to odpowiedzieć.
Skibber-dee, skibber-danger. I am the rearranger. We're close. True,
Nic nie mów.
hardcore.
Ale tak naprawdę, tak na serio? Możesz mówić takie inne przypadkowe rzeczy.
Spinning out lyrics and the
Dobra, to też było na pewno. Wszystko, co mam przeklikane. Nic nie mów, nic nie mów. Jest moc. Też nie. Nic nie mów, nic nie mów, nic nie mów. Nadal nic nie mów. Powiedz proszę, co właściwie robisz? Czemu? Nie, chyba też. Nic nie mów, nic nie mów, nic nie mów, nic nie mów.
His brow as his very large head traces the sublime invisible movement of the music in the very real ear of the church.
To jest raczej to. Ależ hardcore.
Is it though?
Tak jest.
But is it? I mean really.
A to ciekawe, bo wcześniej jak wybierałem te opcje, to nie było tego, tylko kończył. Ale jak przeklikam wszystkie, to teraz mam. Pytanie brzmi pytanie. The question is, what is the question?
No, but seriously, I'm a bit worried it isn't.
The skin on your back is crawling. For a second you can't even hear the music anymore.
A, teraz przeczytałem. No widzisz, pierwsza odpowiedź.
There is a hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, right next to the canal.
Taka rewaszolska wersja skutera. Domyśliłem się. W sumie ciekawe nawiązanie.
Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super hardcore. What he probably means is, it could be even more so.
Głowcze, mógłbyś proszę puścić na swoich głośnikach sygnał Sony?
To the mega! Yeah! I can route it through auxiliary! What kind of a cable does she use? 3.5 or 4.5?
3,5, nie ma wątpliwości, leży na ziemi.
Oh, she uses 3.5. Yeah. The auxiliary line
Teraz muszę znaleźć przejściówkę, tak?
These two don't mix.
Oh God, you're going to be in this church forever.
Don't worry, I have an adapter for it right here. Hang on, this is a 4.5. We're all good, people!
Już myślałem, że będę biegał za przejściówką.
Great! Someone got through to him. Okay, let's get it all set up. Can we turn the music off, please?
Jajko głowcze, muzyka.
Everybody! Everybody! Don't panic! I'm going to turn off the Arno for just a sec. For a special scheduled event. The Arno will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. All right, go tell her that Egghead is ready to rave to her tunes, and then I'll turn off the music.
Jesteś telepatą?
No nation, but transnation. No war, but class war.
No więc nie czytasz w myślach, tylko jesteś komunistą.
He's not a communist. It's just something he likes to yell. He picked it up from a tape jockey at the Elysium. She was a communist, though.
Yeah! With a rebel yell!
Nie, dobra, nie będę szedł w komunizm. Powiedz mi coś innego, jajko głowcze. Mówiłeś, że się niepokoisz. Co twoim zdaniem jest nie tak z muzyką?
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still in love with the hardcore. Sometimes I just feel like anodic music is in its infancy, you know? For example, Take this Arno van Eyck jam I've been pumping for the last month, and will continue pumping for the rest of 51. Isn't something holding it back from being hyper? It's like it's only ultra.
I think it's super hardcore, but you're right. It's not hyper hardcore.
To tylko ultra hardkorowe.
It is, isn't it? I knew it.
Swoją drogą, bez streamer mode jest inna muzyka. Ciekawe gdzie. Ciekawe jakie są to piosenki.
But how could it become hardcore? I know the answer in my heart, but cannot think it in my head. If this is not hyper, how could anything be?
Brzmi to podejrzanie jak pytanie. Myślałem, że pytanie brzmi jak brzmi pytanie.
No! This is the answer!
Może spróbujesz wymyślić, czy coś mogłoby poprawić hardkorowość.
What? Guys, there's something happening in his head.
As your mind works, the beat recedes from your ears. You hear your own blood pulsing through your head, nourishing your thoughts with oxygen. The rhythm is familiar.
Pomyśl jeszcze intensywniej. Albo nie, poczuj ruch krwi w twojej głowie.
The abstract shapes swelling in the foreground have done so in vain. This is a core matter. The answer in the double kick that moves the milliliters through your mind. The dark thud is the source of all rhythm. The inspiration behind mathematics. The hardcore.
Pomyśl jeszcze intensywniej.
Oh yeah! He's doing it!
Wyobraźnia mnie zawodzi.
I know! So does mine!
But there's something else that hasn't failed you.
Czyli musiałbym się naćpać, żeby tutaj mieć wizję. Nie mogę teraz z tym pomóc, potrzebuję czegoś więcej, czegoś ekstra.
Yeah!
A czekajcie, ciało jako narzędzie. Może twoje ciało nie umie powiedzieć, czego brakuje numerowi Arno von Eycka, jak uczynić go bardziej hardkorowym.
You know it in your lungs where the pressure should vibrate, in your heart that's alone, and in your solar plexus where the hits should land. So does every chordate animal.
Potrzeba więcej basu
What?
i melodii. To właśnie dobra melodia sprawia, że numer zapada w pamięć, tak że nie można go przestać nucić.
Wow! Okay! We should start with the melody. But where would we get that stuff from?
Nie wiem, myślałem, że ty będziesz wiedzieć.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about hypnotic music. I'm just the party boy. I get the people going and say it's hardcore.
Przynajmniej wie, kim jest.
He feels ashamed he can't be of more service to the future of dance music.
Dobrze, przyjrzał się temu na gruncie zawodowym. Jednym z zadań policji jest tworzenie mocnych bitów.
The young man falls silent with appreciation. He even tries to contain his smile, as if it could hinder your investigation.
Basically, what you need to find here is a tape with some banging music on it, so that Egghead could use it to remix Van Eyck's jam.
Yeah, maybe that street hawker across the pawn shop has got some tapes to sell. That's just an idea.
Wait, they want you to run all the way back to Martinez with that leg of yours just to get some tape? Ouch. There is a hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gislain, right next to the canal. A reel of magnetic tape is caught in its branches, like bronze ribbons.
Rue de Saint-Gislain, byłem tam już.
Oh, I know this! I can tell you where it is!
St. G is the boulevard before the canal bridge. The one that takes you to the whirling in rags and the industrial harbour. It's got the lanterns and the...
I knew that! I could have said that!
And the mosaic sidewalk.
But it's all blocked with that stupid traffic jam right now. Anyway.
Aż mnie chłód ogarnął.
Does it?
Otrząśnij się.
Anyway, that's all yours to figure out, Copman.
Copman!
Hej, mam ze sobą taśmę, może nada się do ulepszenia numeru Van Eycka.
Tape! Yeah! Spin the tape until the space escape! Yeah!
Dobrze, nieważne.
Yeah! All right!
Dobra, wielki megamix strzelecki to raczej nie to.
Yes, what is it?
Dobra, pogadałem z jajkogłowcem, podpiął kabel, możesz już wyłączyć wyciszenie swoich głośników.
Okay, but think you can ask him to turn the volume down a bit? Just in case.
Maximum! Maximum is the only way!
I know it is, but could you please turn it down just this instance? Just this one time? Maximum is not the only way, okay?
Pump it to the brick! Pump it to the hard master! There's no other way! Glue style!
See? He pumps it to the hard master.
Jajkogłowiec chyba próbuje powiedzieć, że pokrętło głośności utknęło w pozycji maksimum.
Of course it is.
Yeah! Permanent enlightenment! Ray of sound!
Never mind then. Let's get on with our project. I'm going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5. Everyone ready?
Egghead pumps his hand up in the air, waiting for the beat to drop.
Born ready. Ready.
I'm ready if you are, Detective.
Suddenly, your palms are sweaty. The church seems cold and large. There's tightness in your chest. Anxiety.
Dobra, gotowi.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mute disengaged.
No wind outside. No waves. No floorboards creaking. Total, continuous silence. This is unnatural. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. Plasterwork begins to crumble down the walls. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's a song inside you, not in the speakers, not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly, it builds until the air around you starts to vibrate. It's out there now, in the world, made manifest. It will devour everything.
Czy ja rozpocząłem koniec świata?
The floorboards, the glass, the streets and the people. Nothing will remain.
Guys, what's going on? It's getting louder.
In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling.
Hosiana! Mother of Mega!
In his mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing entire coastlines on its way. Salvation. He's peaking, the worst high he's ever been on.
On był najpierw we mnie.
The beauty and the beat! The future of dance! Planetary!
No, Egg! It's the window! The window is going to come down! No, the roof!
Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the dark.
Come down to earth! Love!
Below it, all the bass grows, like the jaws of a giant compressor gnawing on metal and wood. It does not sound benevolent. It's shaking the building's foundation. The floor twists.
That's it. I'm muting it.
Zachowajcie wszyscy spokój, to coś pięknego.
Beautiful car! Beautiful life!
Shit! It doesn't stop. A seal? Have you?
Yes, I've turned it off. Andre, pull the compressor. The place is gonna come down.
Fuck! I can't shut it up. The signal's passed. It's not in here. It's...
This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down.
Jajkogłowiec, cokolwiek zrobisz, nie powstrzymuj tego.
But then it stops. Totally and utterly. As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding a dangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector.
Egg.
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore.
You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time? This is what we were up against. Just erased it. Suliswolf isn't gonna believe this.
Yeah, but did you record it though? It was dope. I think we can use it.
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now. Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's a start.
Co to było? W życiu nie słyszałem nic podobnego, a miałem do czynienia nawet z kompresorem szerokości szaroty.
It was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as a waveform. That's what it was technically. Theoretically, I have no idea. I've never even heard of anything like this.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure.
Napiszesz do Sulisława?
Yes, our lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. And some of the writers. If they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear.
That it wasn't her fault. Or theirs.
They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording. Although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway.
Co teraz będzie? Zamierzasz?
Stay here. I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Suliswolf. Also devise further measurements.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
I don't care, but thank you anyway.
That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot in truth. For her, at least.
Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind.
Some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach. You're still alive. You have an explanation for all this. Somewhere deep in you, you know. The person you were knows.
Ja, logika. 42%. Czy to jest biały test? No. To jest biały test, ale dam ci pracować w spokoju. Zboostujmy logikę najpierw. Coś miałem na logikę. Okej. Oksy. Koszula. Jesteśmy bardzo logiczni z tym kapeluszem. Nie mam punktu umiejętności, żeby dodać, ale okej.
Yes, what is it?
83%.
You don't have to. You already have. A long time ago.
Zaraz, ale jak?
These thoughts formed in you somewhere, in a long forgotten discussion, behind a kitchen table, drinking coffee and smoking, with a friend. And a woman, she was there too. Her hair smelled of shampoo as she was smoking.
Sono to punkt początkowy szaroty.
What?
Przełyk. Tak to się właśnie zaczyna. To jak szarotowe dziecko.
But Pale isn't here.
Takie trochę
We're
Death
thousands
Stranding.
of kilometers from the edge.
That comforts her.
Nie, jesteśmy 20 metrów od samego jej skraju.
She looks up into the darkness under the nave, then back at you.
Szarota to jedynie efekt, zjawisko przejściowe między światem a tym.
Then what is that?
It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing. No.
To mniej niż nic. Ostateczny stan spoczynkowy rzeczywistości. Wyobraź sobie, że to wszystko nigdy nie istniało.
Then the pale is...
Po prostu gradient.
But the gradient, it clearly hasn't started yet. We're here and the pale is not.
Przyjdzie dzień, kiedy urośnie i zacznie być.
I understand. A theory of the pale where instead of an outer ocean, it metastasizes. Like a cancer or a mold. Erupting in points inside the world.
Gdzie był ten test? Jakie tam miałem modyfikatory? Nie mogę sprawdzić. Kiwnij głową. Tu jest jedno z takich miejsc.
According to this, how long?
Zanim zacznie połykać świat, już zaczęło. Na razie tylko dźwięk.
And information. Causing data losses in the East Insulindian front. Have you considered why it's formed in a church? And also when or how it might start growing, or if it has other effects in addition to sound and data?
An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting fear aside.
Nie uformowało się w kościele, to kościół uformował się wokół niej.
Of course! A pinewood sarcophagus, or a containment facility of some kind, built by the first settlers.
Tak, działających instynktownie lub według religijnych praktyk, które dziś zostały już zapomniane.
I have considered the same. The bad news is there were 7 pinewood churches built in the first decade of provincial settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the revolution, or repurposed before, during the suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in them, but...
Some of them might. A black grain hanging in the air.
Wszystkie upadły firmy w zgubionej strefie handlowej, cały upadek w Martinez.
You think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even say software development?
She already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great and uncaring force had to play a part. It wasn't only them.
A czemu by nie? Tak, nawet upadek rewolucji miał miejsce właśnie tutaj. Można by rzec, że to antroponetyczna historia.
I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities. But no, the artists like the milieu, the writers like the history. I told them.
Powinienem poinformować tym ludzi, którzy wciąż tam pracują, może mieć to na nich wpływ.
You mean play Sans and the Dice Maker? There was almost no one left when we packed up.
Tak, obie zasługują na to, żeby wiedzieć.
Then go tell them.
Chyba miałem już kiedyś taką myśl, stąd to wszystko wiem.
Yes, it is very interesting. But I wouldn't say you know. This is a guess. One that's going to have to be proved by anthroponetic scientists.
Przyjdzie dzień, w którym cały świat będzie taki jak ta 2-milimetrowa dziura.
She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window. Cold and moist.
I'm going to leave that out. But the rest? Some of this I can use to start to explain this to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but, you know, maybe a club for anodic music isn't the worst thing you can erect around this particular point in space.
Ten klub to jedyny, co trzyma to miejsce i resztę w rzeczywistości w kupie.
I wouldn't go so far as to...
Yeah! Once the light is on in the universe, it will never go out!
What is there to add to that? Nothing.
Mam jedną tajemnicę, która wciąż wymaga rozwiązania. Radiowy duch w elektronicznym dzwonku zgubionej w strefie handlowej.
The creepy woman! We were wondering about that when we worked there, but I had completely forgotten about it ever since. It must be anthroponetic crosstalk, the one you get in radios and long-distance calls. Now it makes sense, with the pale right on the doorstep.
Antroponetyczny przesłuch.
It's quite common, actually. When the signal gets routed through pale, all kinds of irregularities take place. You may hear snippets of someone else's conversation, or the voice of your former lover, or an echo of an event that took place 100 years ago. Pale is a shroud of memories, and it doesn't really distinguish to whom those memories belong to. You could hear anything.
To ma sens, dziękuję, że mi to wyjaśniłaś.
Anytime.
Dam ci pracować w spokoju. Dobra, muszę kolejną myśl zinternalizować. Gdzie to było? Wielkie porządki. Trochę taka apokaliptyczna. Podpowiedz mi, gdzie tu antenę dać.
What's on your mind?
Konceptualizacji boski. Dobra, trzymaj się, Noik. Wracam do konceptualizacji. To chyba miałem na maksa. Tak, nie mogę nic więcej dać. Co mi pomagało konceptualizować? Koszula. Marynarka. Zdjęcie kapelusza. Empatia, logika. W sumie to miało +2 do logiki. Encyklopedia, dreszcze, wewnętrzne imperium. Nie ma żadnych minusów. Próg bólu. No nie. To jest chyba maks, co mogę osiągnąć. Zdejmę to. Nie mogę na niego patrzeć.
Why does art inspire you so much?
Tak, inspiruje, ale czym sztuka jest?
Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory,
Dobry
and
znak, osiągnąłem
performative
próg
creativity.
konceptualizacji.
It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined.
Czepsuję do świata sztuki, bo w końcu...
Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes. Disheveled and prophetic. Perhaps you should try to critique architecture too.
W sumie faktycznie patrzył ostatnio na świat krytyczniej.
Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores as made manifest in stuffy biennials. We're talking real, living art here. Become the art cop. Half art critic, half cop.
No dobra, skoro 50% krytyka sztuki pozwoli mi uwolnić się od rutyny i powtarzalności, to niech tak będzie.
Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street, you must also apprehend criminals of the printing press and the gallery, the trite and derivative artists and writers of the world. Go ahead and provide savage criticisms, art cop. The world is yours to rip to pieces and reassemble.
To co? Konceptualizujemy hardcore.
What's on your mind?
28%. Zinternalizuj estetykę hardcore'u, nie kiwaj tempo głową, a naprawdę ją poczuj.
Aggressive,
Widziałem, że fake.
monotonous, but also somehow sacred, primitive, yet futuristic, like a machine, man. Nothing exists but the here and now. All are one purpose. All you've managed is a list. The parts don't form a whole.
Chciałem jeszcze raz porozmawiać w tym miejscu. Nie, nic nowego. Dobra, to co? Nudziarski gliniarz, nudziarskie pomysły. Znajdź odpowiednie miejsce dla anteny radiowej nadającej fale mega długie. To będzie fail.
Close your eyes.
Wow.
Unfold your mental
Holy
map
shit.
of Martinez.
Nie spodziewałem się tego.
It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags. The wind pushes a piece of tear across the cracked tiles. From the north comes the malicious laughter of 2 children.
Odwróć twarz ku zatoce.
Your eye follows the tiles west. You see a bench and a few twisted, pitiful trees. Then, just water. From behind you, a low, spectral voice whispers, "Nay."
Odwróć twarz ku apartamentowcowi. I mean, gdyby to były pierogi z kapustą, to prawie kimchi.
Beyond the unkempt backyard rises a monstrous assemblage of concrete,
Już takie bardziej azjatyckie.
corrugated sheet metal. The voice again, more urgent now. Nay, just a moment. That voice isn't human, and it's not saying nay. It's saying nay.
Aha, czyli to koń. Odwróć twarz ku rondu.
You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow, and a great shadow materializes before you. A towering beast, frozen.
Czyli damy antenę na pomnik. A, pomnik Filipa III.
Centaur Man is made of metal. With the right gear, we could make it work.
Yeah! Connect the centaur to the lorries! Unite the whole roundabout in hardcore waves!
Huh? Sounds like Egg saying you could use some of the spare cables to rig up the stalled motor lorries and increase the wavelength. Which would pretty much make the old roundabout one giant antenna.
One roundabout! One wavelength! Hardcore!
Nazwijmy ją Heroldem Zniszczenia.
Pretty hardcore. Maybe it would be better to go with something more positive.
We have the amps! We have the cables! We're almost ready! Yeah!
He's right. All we're missing now is the transceiver itself. Soon as you find
Czyli
one,
musimy jeszcze
we'll be
ogarnąć
all set.
transceiver. Gdzie mam szukać transceivera radiowego?
I don't know. Buy one? Steal one? I don't know your cop ways.
Czy w radiokomputerach są transceivery?
Yeah, probably. Thing is, you'd have to be an engineer to get it out. I'd stick with regular radios if I were you.
Myślisz, że w Lombardzie jakiś znajdę?
Maybe. If you want to pay money like some kind of money lord, yeah, pawn shop could have one.
Chyba widziałem radio w tamtym biurze koło portu.
Some equipment from Arbor could work. Worth the legwork at least.
A on nie ma czegoś, co moglibyśmy wykorzystać?
Can't do it. We just got this place set up. Can't go risking Egg's most important equipment.
No dobra, w takim razie muszę znaleźć jakiś transceiver.
While you're gone, me and Egg will get the rest of the gear together. Meet us back here when you got it.
Trzymaj się, Noik. Czyli tak, wracam do miasta. Po 2 rzeczy. Przy placu jest gdzieś mixtape. Muszę znaleźć taśmę z melodią. Muszę porozmawiać z ludźmi w tym budynku. Znaleźć transceiver. Ten quest tak jest już do niczego, bo nie zdjąłem butów z trupa. Jakkolwiek to brzmi. Zapytajmy, ile kosztuje w Lombardii transceiver. Ale co my tu mamy?
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb.
Tak?
Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Heimdall burning.
Ale ma pan tu wypasiony t-shirt z człowiekiem z Heimdalu.
Hell yeah, man. I don't usually carry printed teas, but this one was just pure exemplar.
Musi być pan prawdziwym fanem człowieka z Heimdalu.
A fan? No, I wouldn't go that far. But I do think the Hjälmdalaman saga is an integral part of our shared reality. Most people don't think that the man from Hjälmdal really existed, but they're wrong.
Co pan miał na myśli, mówiąc, że człowiek z Heimdalu istnieje naprawdę?
I mean, even if the man from Hjälmdal didn't exist before the adventure novels, the stories have made it so that he has. It's simple, really.
Całkowicie się z tym zgadzam. Rzeczywistość potrafi się wykrzywiać i wpływać na samą siebie.
Exactly. Cause and effect work in both directions. Besides, I've been to Kotla, though not quite as far north as the Hjälmdal, and watched northern lights travel across the sky. Very unique, energetic tides there.
His theory isn't exactly incoherent, but its logic does suggest some unusual neural activity. Interesting. Very, very unique energies indeed. Geomagnetic ley lines, one might even say. Stop talking about this nerd stuff. It will make you weedy. Buy the damn shirt already. It's powerful.
Ile pan chce za ten t-shirt?
2 real.
Chyba dobra okazja, choć pewności nie mam.
Oh, it is.
Nie mógłby mi w takim razie dać jej pan za darmo?
But why?
Człowiek z Heimdalu to super gwiazda, tak jak ja. Pasowałoby idealnie.
I suppose that makes sense, yes. Please go ahead and take it. Welcome to Hjälmdal.
Jak ja to wcześniej skipnąłem? Zdejmijmy marynarkę. Ciało jak narzędzie, dreszcze, zdowładczości. Załóżmy do tego... No nie, no trochę tak... O, teraz będziemy super gliną. Dobra, czy
Between
masz...
you and me, this is why I don't get involved in local politics.
Tak, ja też nie powinienem.
So it goes. Now, what can I do for you?
Szukam transceivera radiowego. Ma pan coś takiego?
A transceiver, is it? Yeah, we should have something to do the trick.
He produces a machine encased in a blue bakelite shell. Its black face covered in an assortment of pearl-topped knobs and dials.
A Kristallsprach Model 9 Gottwaldian engineering at its finest. This is a specialist model, ideal for picking up foreign signals. The Model 9 also comes equipped with a signal purifier to suppress crosstalk, especially good around here with our funky reception.
Brzmi doskonale.
It's about as close to perfection as a transceiver gets. And we're only asking 120
Dobra.
real for it.
Poszukam w innych sklepach.
You'll be back again. I've got a feeling.
Ma pan jakieś nagranie Goldy Mamadakły?
The Coldima Madakwa? Sorry, I would never have guessed that you were that interested in ultrasonic sounds. Or birds for that matter.
Ostatnio interesują mnie najróżniejsze rodzaje sztuki, no wie pan, eksperymentalnej.
What an interesting development. Well, it's been a long while since I've gone hunting for the Coldima Madakwa. Once knew a group of young musicians who decided they didn't want to play music anymore and started looking for all kinds of interesting sounds instead. This was before, you know, lost touch with them after all of that.
Ależ czadowo to brzmi.
Cool or not, one of them was obsessed with recording the Coldima Madakwa, and he was one of those passionate people who know a lot about all kinds of strange things. So he got the rest of us to join in his search.
I znaleźliście ją?
We thought we did. We got together all these recordings of unusual sound patterns, compared them, cut them up and combined them into the Symphonia Coldima Madaqua.
Mogę jej posłuchać?
Unfortunately, I don't have any recordings from my old life. None at all. But I do have a tape with some ultrasonic sounds that might be what you're looking for.
Tak, to absolutnie konieczne do moich badań.
This recording comes from down the coast. Wasn't looking to record anything specific. Just left a recording device there one morning. Keep in mind, I have to slow this one down enough to make sounds well over 200 kilohertz audible to the human ear. It will be strange.
As the hum grows louder, modulating but always unnaturally uncomfortably low, like it's coming not from the speakers, but also from inside your chest, breathing is becoming difficult. That's an illusion. Your breathing is just as it was and will remain that way unless you start panicking. There's a growing sense of dread. The sound is coming from inside you, but also surrounding you. It feels as though someone is standing just outside your range of vision and watching you. He nods to you, reassuringly, just as more diverse, higher-pitched sounds, some random, some appearing to form patterns, hit your eardrums.
Co to?
Gulls and skewers. But
That's it. The signal in the noise. The thin whisper. A low range of sounds is easier to handle with a focal point, but still troubling. You are mesmerized by the sounds, but also feel nausea welling up as the motif continues, then begins to recede, dissolving in what must be the sound of water lapping at the bank.
you know, now that I've listened to it on these new speakers, it's not the Coldima Madaqua. Wrong patterns, wrong photons. Probably some insect trying to sing higher than its predators can hear. Still, fascinating, aren't they? Early morning sounds.
Mam na razie inne sprawy do załatwienia. 120 za transceiver. Prędzej udowodnić, że faktycznie Coldima Madaqua istnieje, niż zdobędę brakujący hajs. Ale w biurze Andre chyba było radio. Piwnice pełne ziemniaków. A ziemniak to jedynie halucynacja z niedożywienia. Dobra. Kiedy wspominali o taśmie do Anodic Disco, wspominali coś o drzewie, na którym wisi taśma. Czy to może być to? No raczej nie. Ja muszę zadzwonić do ludzi, którzy są w tym budynku i powiadomić ich, że świat się kończy.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Kogo ja miałem? Producentkę kości. Kim jest do cholery producentka kości?
An old call box. You hear the same. You ring. Just seeing the words Andro Orlando gets your hackles. All you hear is you ring the door. You wait for him. Looks like someone has melted. Silence. Silence. Nothing happens Oh, silence. This button looks...
Czyli to nie to. Czy ja w ogóle spotkałem jakąś producentkę kości? Z tą muszę pogadać.
Oh my god! Things have gotten out of hand! I thought the psychic stuff was bad, but the crime! It's even worse! I haven't been able to come to work for 3 days. The shop has been locked. No sales, gangbangers running around, shooting everyone. I know I shouldn't have bought a shop in this ghetto.
Ale to ja zostałem tu postrzelony, proszę pani.
Oh my god! Even the police can't take care of all of this.
Może ona zasługuje, żeby umrzeć, żeby jej biznes upadł? Wykorzystywała dziecko.
And open a psychic studio. Yes. It makes sense. Crime is the 6th element, you see. The darkest element. I could teach people to protect themselves against bad energies and to fight crime.
Chyba dobry plan. W końcu życia musi się utoczyć dalej.
Exactly. It's a brilliant idea. Thank you, officer. I'm going to start drawing up business plans right away. In the meantime, do buy the books. As many as you can. They won't be here for much longer. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Dramaturgia przekonuje ją, żeby pozwoliło ci zajrzeć do zgubionej strefy handlowej.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy.
To niepotrzebne w ogóle, ale co tam przeklikam? Zaraz, co jeśli nie chcę ukłamać?
You're not lying. You're giving her peace of mind. The means are thus justified.
Dramaturgia jest bardzo wężowata. Proszę pani, przybyłem tu, aby pomóc. Mam doświadczenie w sprawach paranaturalnych.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
Powróciłem z pustki. Parapsychologiczny detektyw z dziada pradziada.
You're no paradetective. You look nothing like one. And you're clearly a drinker. Pardon me for being so blunt, but...
Hey now, hey. You need the booze to focus, alright?
Przyznam, że swoje wypiłem, tylko dlatego jednak, że kraina duchów ogromnie obciąża mnie parapsychologicznie.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
Jestem kroczącym przez pustkę. Mam moc, która pozwala zneutralizować wszelkie złe energie.
I should have realized. A pattern lies within the fabric. The hand of fate guides us. Our meeting couldn't have been mere chance.
Perhaps you truly are the one to deliver this woman from the doom.
But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
To absolutnie żaden problem. Pani rodzina jest bezpieczna. Duchy zaś nie mają ze mną szans.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
Połóż rękę na sercu, daj słowo honoru.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Oczywiście, istota. Zamknij oczy. Wykryłem oto jej obecność.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman. A witch, probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Komin, no tak, przejście między niebem a piekłem.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it.
Nie, tylko że to niepotrzebne, bo już tak tam byłem.
Oh, and please
Ale
do
nie
return
wiedziałam o
to me after
kobiecie.
you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin.
Sens, muszę pani coś powiedzieć. Odkryliśmy prawdziwe źródło zguby.
Yes? What news do you bring?
Śledztwo pozwoliło mi odkryć 2-milimetrową entroponetyczną dziurę w rzeczywistości. To ona jest źródłem zagłady. zarówno dla centrum handlowego, jak i dla całego Martinez.
What?
Mała dziurka w rzeczywistości. Może być ona połączona z szarotą, czymś w rodzaju punktu początkowego. To by wyjaśniało, czemu historycznie rzecz ujmując, tyle rzeczy tu w Martinez skończyły się niepowodzeniem.
But that's not in any of the ancient texts. How am I supposed to protect my bookstore from that?
She's too afraid to even say the word. Whatever you do, don't take away her hope. The only weapon against total absence.
Może pani ją chronić nadzieją, odmową poddania się. Tak właśnie zrobili ludzie w przeszłości. Zbudowali dookoła tego falernego miejsca kościół, miejsce kultu.
You're right, officer. I mustn't lose faith, especially now that Annette is finally settling in at school and making friends. No, we can't just leave. Besides, didn't I have some Sailite hope catchers round here somewhere? I must find them. Everything will be all right if I can just find them.
No chyba nie, ale okej.
Thank you for your help. In any case, you're welcome back here any time.
Do widzenia, pani handlarko książkami. Czyli tutaj jest jeszcze jedna kobieta, którą pominąłem totalnie. Ciekawy w jaki sposób, ale okej. Latarka. Narzędzia. Zamiast miecza. Tak, tak. Domyślam się, gdzie ona będzie. Ale jeszcze się rozejrzał, czy nic nie skipnąłem. Całkiem creepy miejsce, tak swoją drogą. Więc ona żyje w kominie.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Krzyknij do pieca halo.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
you've awakened the entity.
Tu policja, kto tam jest?
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
A kurde. Tam faktycznie coś było. Czy ja wcześniej miałem ten test, czy musiałem zagadać z Plessens i ją przekonać? A, tu jeszcze coś leży. Pieniądze. 45 groszy. Chodźmy na piętro. Nie tu. W drugą stronę. Tu były schody na górę. Gdzie były relety? Tutaj. Wow. Całe piętro. Kolejna pocztówka. Ciekawe, czy jest to achievement za wszystkie pocztówki. Kości do gry. Zdejmę latarkę nawet. Nie będę jej świecił prosto w oczy. Bonjour.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of dye are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this
Ile jeszcze questów znajduję?
for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Zaraz, czym z tą milią?
Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed. I must have missed you knocking.
Musiała mnie pani pomylić z kimś innym, nie pukałem w pani okno.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Czemu pyta mnie pani o kości?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong.
Nie, szukam czegoś innego. Zmruż tajemnicze oczy odpowiedzi.
Answers? How strange. These days people only come to me for dice and role-playing games. I'm not sure how helpful I'll be, but go ahead and ask.
This person means you or no one else. Absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly.
Jak została pani producentką kości?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
A pani lubi gry fabularne?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
She's thankful for the security they provide her.
Dobrze, chciałbym zamówić pani kostkę.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Zna pani świat Wirala oderwanego? Chciałbym kość specjalnie do niego.
Ah, yes. Fortress accident. It's too bad they never finished their game. The Wirral Untethered die is a variation of a standard role-playing die. Only, instead of plants, it uses motifs of ice and death. And loss, of course. I'm thinking something made from alligator jawbone, cast in black resin. The reptile bone is as white as ice and dead as, well, death. For 7 real, I could have it ready in 8 hours.
Mowa stoi.
Great. See you in 8 hours then.
Znowu kolejny quest, który każe mi czekać, czyli nie mogę skończyć gry. Co pani wie o zlinczowanym ostatnio na tyłach Whirling in Rags mężczyźnie?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here.
Poważnie? Ma pani wspaniały widok na podwórze i nie widziała pani ani nie słyszała w niedzielną noc niczego?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
Co pani ma na myśli, mówiąc codzienne hałasy?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's not sorry to disappoint you. Informing on someone in a murder investigation would intrude upon her focused existence.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
I nie odrywa się pani nigdy od pracy, żeby wyjrzeć przez okno?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
This person values focus above all. She keeps her sharp sight on the instruments before her.
Często pracuje pani w niedzielne noce?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
Rozumiem, dziękuję za odpowiedzi.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Gdzie my właściwie jesteśmy? Co to za miejsce?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse. When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known.
Strasznie nie po kolei robiłem niektóre rzeczy w tej grze. Wie pani, co stało się z innymi wynajmującymi? Wszyscy inni zniknęli.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Rats scuttle in the dark rooms under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
Był tu kiedyś salon fryzjerski, prawda?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you.
Ja to jestem chyba prostym człowiekiem, nie mam żadnej opinii na temat fryzur.
Me neither. I just want it off my face.
Co się stało z siłownią?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
Może tego właśnie potrzebuje Kuno, skupionego na społeczności klubu bokserskiego.
Kuno. Who's Kuno?
Jest tu kimś w rodzaju króla.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth. Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
A kim był Artemitept?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Jak się udał ten projekt społecznościowy?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You should have known it.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
A co chodzi z tymi porozbijanymi oknami?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Świetnie, świetnie z tym gruzem, ale co to jest milieu ostatniego tchnienia?
It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
What does she mean, to get off on it?
Jak to ludzie to robią?
People do that. I believe the ICP got them. They have a special division that deals exclusively with sub-Rosas. In any case, I don't think it's your job to worry about what happens on Milius. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned it. Things like that are better forgotten.
Ktoś tu się zajmował wypychaniem zwierząt. Widziałem stojaki.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
Muszę wiedzieć, jakie narkotyki zażywał, żeby napisać o tym w meldunku.
He got high on some weird taxidermy chemicals. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Eventually, they caused him to lose control of his bladder. The smell was awful.
Even you can probably do better than that. You can almost see it. A small, sickly old man, hunched behind his work desk, his pants stained with old piss, stuffing a sad, stiff-legged raccoon dog. The entire scene looks tragic.
Znalazłem upiorne manekiny.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Obrońcy praw owadów, co do...
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
Cieszył się, że ktoś się pochylił nad losem tych maluchów, lubił owady.
Really? Anyway.
Aha.
Poor guy. Suddenly, you get a feeling that insects are important to the case somehow. It's hard to say why.
Aha. O co chodzi z tymi łopatami wiernikowymi i nartami?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Ciekawe, o czym są tu urlopowe transmisje?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns. But Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around in the house.
Znalazłem dziwną maszynę.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
To znaczy liberalnie, co się stało?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
Co? Co poszło nie tak?
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
Z tego co widziałem dotąd, to rzeczywiście był imponujący projekt.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
Showing up to work on time is hard. No, scratch that. Showing up to work at all is difficult, especially if you've been drinking.
Straszna szkoda, chętnie bym ich wsparł, projekt wyglądał świetnie.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die. The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
W piwnicy jest przerażający wypchany niedźwiedź.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
No dobra, to co z tymi innymi pomysłami?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls. Fritta does the same thing.
Znam dokładnie taką dziewczynę, pracuje we Fritte jako kasjerkę i nie jest szczególnie miła.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
Co z tym niedźwiedziem?
The bear.
Nie udało się?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravishell Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
Zabiłem niedźwiedzia.
You did what?
Odpiąłem lodówkę od prądu, żeby pomóc serwaszolskiemu miastu lodów zminimalizować straty.
Ugh, of course they left it plugged in. Even in death, the berries costing them money. The taxidermist who made it said it was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion.
Scary, but cool.
Megatherion?
Megatherion, a mega wild beast.
Co to jest mega dzika bestia?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs.
Nie zażywam narkotyków.
Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
Little sparkling embers under the window. Outside it's light. Light scatters from the low-hanging cloud cover. There's always the threat of snow.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Znalazłem interkom budynku, ale nie działa.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
Czyli mówi pani, że ten przycisk z pustą kartą należy do pani?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
Tak się zastanawiam, czy Werling i Rax to część tego samego kompleksu budynków.
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
Salon pinballowy East Delta, czy to dzisiejszy Whirling?
Yes, I've heard it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure. Before my time. I'm not surprised, however.
You know, this is something the cafeteria manager might want to.
Już wiem.
My advice, don't base your business on a fad.
A jednak.
Hypnotism, floriography, trick-track, especially pinball.
To znaczy, że Whirling jest częścią zgubionej strefy handlowej. Guard będzie zachwycony.
I don't know this guard, but something tells me he won't.
Kiedy zadzwoniłem do firmy Slipstream SCA, stało się coś dziwnego. Ktoś odebrał.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
Powiedział, że jest Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
Tricentennial. Czasami nie wiem, z jakim akcentem to czytać. Bardzo dużo języków w tej grze wykorzystują.
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
To już rozwiązaliśmy, że to jest głos z przeszłości.
No, it was something else. It was eerie.
Nie, to było coś innego, upiornego.
Pranks can be eerie. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
Okazuje się, że tajemnica Slipstream SCA może być nagraniem. Zadzwoniłem później jeszcze raz i usłyszałem dokładnie to samo.
Why would Slipstream SCA have a 100-year-old recording as their doorbell message? Doesn't make any sense. I'm still convinced it was nothing more than some elaborate prank.
Mam jeszcze kilka pytań co do tego budynku.
Sure, I'm listening.
Właściwie to mam inne pytania.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
Odejdź. Teraz pytanie.
Oh, it's you again. Are you
Nie mogę jej powiedzieć o tym, że to wszystko się zawali. Najpierw muszę odebrać kości. Skoczył też do Garta. podana godzina, o której mam to odebrać. 13:22 zanotowane, więc o 21:22. Kurde, słabo. A, nie mogę przejść bez latarki nawet? Dobra, chodźmy stąd. Widzimy na podwórze. Zdejmę latarkę od razu. Czyli to jest zajebiście smutna historia ogólnie z tym budynkiem. Tylko ciekawe, czy faktycznie te firmy upadały, bo komunizm nie jest dobrym ustrojem i wolny rynek też sobie nie radzi. Czy po prostu faktycznie jest anomalia?
Is there something I can do for you?
Widziałeś to wielkie płonące graffiti na zewnątrz?
Yes, very responsible.
No daj spokój, musisz przyznać. Było naprawdę czadowe.
Looked pretty hot to me. Well, at least nothing bad actually happened.
He's so exhausted following recent events. He doesn't even have the energy to really get on your case.
Gard, znowu coś widziałem w Werling.
Another thing. Great. I love those.
Muszę cię ostrzec. Odkryłem, że Werling może być częścią zgubionej strefy handlowej.
What? Why would you say that? We're at a completely different address from that whole thing.
So he knows of the doomed commercial area and its address. He's thought about this.
Chwila, więc wiesz o klątwie.
Everyone knows of it.
Nazwa Werling widnieje na domofonie na zewnątrz jako jedna z firm w budynku B. Lepiej naprawcie przewody. Próbowałem nim zadzwonić, ale to się nie udało.
I've been working here for a long time, and that intercom has never been used by the Whirling.
Miss Werling znajdował się kiedyś salon pinballowy East Delta, lecz zbankrutował. Kwestia czasu, aż to samo spotka Werling.
Does this look like part of a doomed commercial area? This pre-revolutionary tilework, these high ceilings, the nice rooms, well, most of the rooms. For 14 years, man. That's how long I've worked here. I've kept this place up through hail and through sleet. Fuck me, if some doom ghost.
He's done a fine job too. Though he's spoken of the place dismissively before, the hostel is actually very important to him.
Werling jest dla ciebie naprawdę ważny, co?
Yeah, it's slowly growing on me again. It's beautiful in its own way, especially for this neighborhood. I've been trying to keep it that way, even if it is part of the damn doomed commercial area.
Aha, więc w końcu to przyznajesz.
Yes, your police skills have delivered. I'm sure you'll get a commendation, maybe even a promotion.
Kto jest właścicielem tego miejsca?
Some real estate management company. They never come around here, just collect money from afar. Honestly, I think some money laundering might be involved.
Kto nazwał lokal Werling in Rags?
Well, it sure as hell wasn't the real estate company.
Ty?
You look surprised. What? It's a great name, I know. Cafeteria managers come up with great names too. It's from a song.
Piosenki?
Hail, Holy Queen, by the Ateniers. Hail, Holy Queen of the Sea. You're whirling in rags, you're vast and you're sad.
A co z pozostałymi barami, którymi zarządzasz?
What about them? One is a basement dive frequented by chain-smoking communists. I can't tell you how sick I am of Coraz and Ignis Nielsen and all those old ghosts.
He's hesitating, not sure if he should share this information with you. Encourage him.
Pozostałe?
The other is a kebab cart. It's very successful in its way, but it's nothing like the Whirling.
No to życzę szczęścia w zarządzaniu lokalem.
Luck has got nothing to do with it. I need to think about where I'm going to place those pinballs. I have a feeling they're going to help. So, if you didn't have anything else to tell me about my establishment, can we, you know, wrap it up? Yes?
Do widzenia. No proszę. Tak, potrzebuję Przypomnij, znaleźć radio, to przede wszystkim. Znaleźć taśmę z hardkorowym nagraniem. Mogę zapytać typa, który sprzedaje lewiznę tutaj, ale w wizji, w dreszczach miałem, że coś wisi na drzewie, jakaś taśma. Czy to jest to drzewo? Tak? Wcześniej nie mogłem z nim wejść w interakcję.
On Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane, bronze-colored ribbons of magnetic tape are caught in its branches, fluttering in the breeze. Just like promised, you've stood here for what seems like eons, guzzling the sickly fumes of lorries and carriages.
Zręczne palce. Muszę to jakieś zboostować, bo zerwę tą taśmę. A nie chcę tego. Chcę, żeby świat poznał prawdziwą muzykę techno. Naprawdę przydałoby się sortowanie w tym ekwipunku. Nie mam punktów umiejętności, nie mam... Fuck, nie za dużo mogę zrobić. W sumie to bardzo niewiele mogę.
The gnarled hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane. A wintry breeze blows by, making the magnetic tape flutter.
Dobry głuk pogłaszczy drzewo.
Patting the tree reveals a small sticker which has almost been worn to oblivion. It reads, RCM Emergencies Desk, number 8102. Underneath a slogan, Mankind, be vigilant. You tree-hugging pansy. The gnarled hawthorn tree on
Dobra,
Rue de
próbujemy.
Saint-Gilles Lane.
42.
A wintry breeze blows by, making the magnetic with slow
Wow,
and
udało się.
deliberate motions, pulling, bending, and unraveling. You manage to extricate the magnetic tape from the branches. It curls up into a mess inside your pocket. If only you could find a way to respool it, so that you could hear what's on the tape.
Jak naprawić zepsuty zwitek? Czy ja w pokoju w Werling nie miałem właśnie... Chociaż jeszcze zagadam z tym typem.
Wow!
Rety.
Cop limping down the street, bleeding from the shoulder, face bruised, looking like hell? You know what that is? Cool! That's cool!
Zostawić na razie w spokoju. W pokoju w Werling chyba miałem pustą szpulę. Jeśli dobrze pamiętam z początku gry. Chyba że ją sprzątnęli teraz. Muszę zdjąć te rękawice, chociaż nie wiem, może będzie test znowu na zręczne palce. Nie masz puli. Jak to naprawić? Kto może mi z tym pomóc? Ewentualnie typ z Lombardu? Najpierw muszę uskoczyć do biura. To było radio. Ale to jest zamknięte teraz. Czyli ewentualnie tylko i wyłącznie mogę... Ale mam pusty pojemnik na kasetę. Ile moment? Zwitek taśmy magnetycznej. Jak to mógł zrobić? Mając te dwie rzeczy. Wyposażyć magnetofon. Nie wiem dlaczego, ale tego się nie da kliknąć. Chyba że to musiała być interakcja. Coś źle kminie. To przede wszystkim. Drugie, potrzebuję naprawdę kupę kasy, żeby... Skąd mogę wytrzasnąć kasę? To jest zamknięte, nie wejdę do biura. Więc transceiver, który był w radiu, jest to już niedostępny. Tak totalnie. Mam wrażenie, że zrobiłem to w złej kolejności. Jak to mogę naprawić? Pójdę do typa z Lombardu i zapytam go jeszcze o transceiver. Może da zniżkę.
Hello, hello.
O, proszę.
Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Wie pan może jak to naprawić?
You mean re-spool it? Yeah, I do, but...
Świetnie, mógłby pan to zrobić. To ważne, muszę odtworzyć komuś tą taśmę.
But I'm not some Mr. Fix-It. I'm a pawnbroker. If you want to pawn the tape, sure. Although it looks pretty... worthless.
Just explain why you need this so much. He's bound to understand.
Bezwartościowo wcale taka nie jest, panie Roy. Może okazać się kolejnym hitem miejscowej sceny dansowej. Kojarzy pan ten stary kościół na wybrzeżu?
Yes. What about it?
Pomogłem kilku młodym raversom zmienić go w klub nocny i puszczają tam takie dziwne kawałki i nazywają to muzyką anodik.
Is it any good? The music, I mean.
No właśnie rzecz w tym, że nie uwierzyłby pan, jaki bezpłciowy jest tam beat. Nie ma w ogóle mięsa, żadnego basu. Zwykłe bzyk, bzyk, bzyk. Ale z tą taśmą to mógłby być naprawdę wypas.
Man, you're really invested in this. Okay, I'll help you out. It's going to take a moment though, so just sit back and relax.
You take some time to look around the store. The play of visuals all around the pawn shop is mesmerizing. Suddenly, Roy turns back to you with a reel of tape in his hand and coughs.
Dziękuję za pomoc.
Yeah, my pleasure. I do what I can for true passion projects. Just try not to use this tape for negative photon emissions. Take responsibility. Okay.
Wróciłem po transceiver, jest wciąż dostępny.
For the moment, yes.
Jednak nie skorzystam jeszcze raz, dziękuję Roy.
You'll be back again. I've got a feeling.
Mam jeszcze coś na sprzedaż.
Let me have a look.
Mam pancerz.
All right. Let's see it.
Pokaż mu napierśnik.
Oh no, 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 no. I don't need bloodthirsty mercenaries knocking on my door looking for their missing toys. Besides, this gear costs a fortune. There's no one in Martinez with that kind of money.
It feels like he would have accepted the risk if he hoped to profit from it. It's not greed, though. Deep down, he's a gambler, provided the stakes are sufficiently interesting.
Sprawdzę w kieszeniach.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Knister na paliwo. Nie chcę tego sprzedawać na razie. Boję się, że będzie potrzebne. Nie mam nic na sprzedaż. Co mogę zrobić? Wrócę na razie do jajkogłowego. Dam mu tłusty bit. Zdejmijmy tego boomboxa. Czy ja jakoś się mógł dostać?
A lorry stuck in the window. Fumes of
Chwila, w samochodzie kierowczyni, czyli Ruby, było sporo dupereli. Otwórz drzwi. Wyciągnij transceiver. Tak jest.
The seating fabric has been pulled tight. It takes a few moments, but eventually the transceiver slides from its greased socket mount with an eminently satisfying ching, nearly the same sound produced by the action on a good breech loader. You can't fail to notice.
Przyjrzyj się transceiverowi.
It's about the size of a small box of pasta, but much heavier. Now that you're looking at it more closely, you realize the various dials and meters make it look vaguely like a face. A distinctive triangular logo forms the nose.
Schowaj transceiver.
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls, but there's a rectangular shadow where the radio used to be, and something strange about the passenger seat. The pull-out toolbox lies hidden under
Dobra,
the driver's
odciągnij
seat.
materiał z siedzenia
Some tools
pasażera.
have been left. Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachol. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Rozłóż mapę z wierzchu.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock, and this person knows them all. There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881. High above the mass of brown and red roofs, that is Jamrock. The commuters don't even look down. The world ceases to exist outside the windshield.
Dokąd prowadzi ta droga?
To Coraz, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates below the road.
Rozłóż drugą mapę.
This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital, right adjacent to the 41st precinct. No storm will ever drown Revachol, the great solution to the riddle of history. Wind rips through the empty hallways of the once great military hospital, now just a ruin under an overgrown park. Beneath the hospital, great sewer tunnels hum and vibrate with life of their own.
Co to za odgłos?
The rattle of motor carriages and lorries driving through long forgotten tunnels.
Spójrz na
lit
trzecią
by
mapę.
gaslights. The stack of maps looks just like before, barely noticeable. The movie stars look silently by, and the pull-out toolbox has a rubber handle, worn from years of use.
Zamknij drzwi.
Close the rusty old lorry door.
Dobra, czyli mam wszystko. Niesamowite. Żebym ja tak w życiu rzeczy pamiętał jak w grach. Dobra, skoczmy do kościoła. Zamknijmy te wątki. Zróbmy tłusty bit.
Denarian Church! The place to be! Make some noise, my church people!
Vibrations thump through your blue soul. The music sounds much better in the church. A hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gislain, tangled in its branches, something bronze flutters in the wind. He stands on stage behind a table, nodding along to the music and waving his hand in the air. In front of him, the audio mixer, one reel spinning. The other reel deck is empty. Cables run hither and thither. On one side, you see an auxiliary line in, with the number 4.5 written next to it.
Znalazłem tu już pole taśmy, może nada się do podkręcenia numeru Ejka.
Yeah! Remix time! Tape goes here, into deck B.
A hand on his ear, he listens to the audio through his headphones and shouts.
Wow! Did you get this from Arno himself?
A great excitement is bubbling to the surface within him. This is big.
Nie, znalazłem ją zaplątaną w gałęziach głogu.
Listen, I'm just going to show it to you. Ready?
Gotowy?
Wow! Here's that? The signs match perfectly! Now if only we had the beat for the full assault, it would be
Czyli to nie koniec?
unbelievably hyper!
What is this? It's good. How did you guys do that?
Masz rację, niesamowite jak to się wszystko trzyma kupy. Tu się chyba dzieje coś więcej niż nam się zdaje.
Yes, but what if Van Eyck based his remix on some forgotten local melody, like a folk song, and you just found the original piece that inspired him to create this jam? That would explain why it fits so well.
Nah, to me it sounds like classic Van Eyck. I don't think he needs any inspiration from folk songs. Maybe he lives in Martinez and just threw away part of his song because he thought it wasn't good enough.
I think it's just happenstance. Chaos in action. Contingencies of our limited existence. That and Egghead's fantastic talent.
Something mysterious is going on here.
Asel ma rację, Van Eyck musi gdzieś tutaj mieszkać, to ewidentnie jego dzieło. Andre trafił w sedno, to brzmi jak remix miejscowej piosenki ludowej.
Be how it may, if it fits, it fits! Bring up the volume!
What about the bass? Do you have any ideas for that?
Arno Van Eyck.
Yeah, I remember. You said it needs more bass.
I think you might know the answer.
Jak gdybyśmy użyli tego wariackiego szturmu dźwięku z eksperymentu Sony, ale go okiełznali, opanowali, zrobili z niego puls.
But how?
What about that compressor Andre was setting up to achieve some sort of parallel processing?
Don't be too hard on yourself if you don't figure it out. I think the jam's already pretty ultra.
But it could be hyper hardcore!
Zręczne palce. Gdybym zinternalizował Van Eycka, ile on by się internalizował? 50 minut. To bym chętnie zapomniał, ale to i tak wymaga punktu umiejętności. Niestety... Ale nie chcę przerywać wielkich porządków. Mam na sobie te ubranie z ręcznych palców, tak? 3%. Boski, natarcie dźwięku można powstrzymać, połącz kropki.
Bzz, 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 goes the track in the background, never ending. You can't grasp what's missing, but you can try to make something up anyway.
Tam, gdzie nie ma się nic do powiedzenia, należy milczeć.
The young man bobs his head to the music, much as before.
Nic tego nie zrobił. Czemu na twojej sprzączce od paska są płuca?
Lungs are for love!
L'amour, la compassion, la autodiscipline.
Love! In a woman's lungs! Lonely as I am, I'm not afraid! This strange, damaged feeling grows on and on, 'cause I've never loved someone like you before!
A dopamine surge accompanies the words. It feels like electricity flowing down your scalp, dissipating into your neck. Feels good, like a spark of life in that moribund sponge you call your body.
W mordu ten odgłos, który słyszeliśmy wcześniej, był wariacki.
Yeah! It was awesome and scary. Very hardcore. Too hardcore, in fact. I couldn't control it at all.
Co się stało?
It sucks up all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left. Starts compressing itself and everything around it. Completely fills up the headspace. Extreme!
Inside your chest, the heart beats still with the after effects of the sound. Imagine if you could harness that power, making it pulse.
A jeśli to jest odpowiedź na numer Van Eycka, moglibyśmy wykorzystać ten dźwięk do basów.
But how?
What about the compressor? The one with the spiky hair was setting up to achieve some sort of parallel processing.
Jak ci się podoba w kościele?
Yeah! Back on the case! No disgrace! Bring it down to party place! The first page of the second chapter!
The first page of the second chapter. Dobra, rezygnajmy z...
Yo, man. What's on your mind?
Noikiem. Znalazłem transceiver radiowy.
So your cop ways came through again. Impressive. Let's see what you got.
Ktoś używał tego cacka do koordynowania operacji przemytu narkotyków.
Thought I felt a special sign coming off this one. I'll just have egg pop in a frequency dial here, and we should be set. All right, Lawfarer, we're ready to do this. I have to warn you, though, once we commit, there's no stopping until we've seen it all the way through. No pauses, no second chances. This is our shot. You got it? So any cop prep you gotta do, you do it now. We'll wait if we have to.
Jestem gotów do dzieła.
Rest of the crew has got to stay here. Can't afford to let the beat drop right as we're getting off the ground.
Much love to my hardcore antenna brothers!
Good luck, guys.
Try to squeeze in a promo spot while you're on air. We've got to start putting the word out.
Now give me an hand with these cables. It's a long walk to the roundabout.
No, ciekawe jak to się rozwinie. Już nawet nie pamiętam, do czego właściwie jest ten quest. Akumulator z naszego rozbitego samochodu. Jakie kabelki. Czy to jest felga? Przedłużacz. Bardzo dużo przedłużaczy. Całkiem ambitnie. Pani to jebnie, jak nic.
Just plug that in there, would ya?
Dobra, jesteśmy gotowi.
Yeah, as ready as we're gonna be. Grab one of these can sets. I've got it rigged so that we can both listen, but only your cop talk will broadcast. No idea what we're gonna hear when I turn this thing on, so be prepared for anything. Trick is to keep transmitting your request until the big bad acknowledges ya. You got that?
Tak.
Good. We're live in 2, 1.
A soft rustling between your ears, a winterscape with fast falling snow.
Skąd dochodzi ten dźwięk?
Every light switch, every motor carriage, every doorbell, tea kettle, and radio in Martinez, all mingled with electrical interference caused by scattered thunderstorms over Ozone.
Hey, Lawman, we're waiting on ya.
Okręt wojenny koalicji łucznik, tu porucznik Harrier Dubois z Moru. Potwierdź odbiór.
You're all alone out there, wandering a blasted heath, calling out to the night. But there is no reply, except for the buzzing of invisible machines.
Give it another go.
Okręt wojenny koalicji łucznik, tu porucznik Dubois, potwierdź odbiór.
Perhaps you're simply imagining it, but it seems as though you're learning to pull apart the fibers of this auditory felt. You focus on one strand in particular, one that sounds very nearly human.
Nein, Liebling, das lasse ich nicht zu. Wie kannst du unseren Jungen bloß auf einen dieser Dinger nach Bredefort schicken?
Halo łucznik, potwierdzacie?
Marianne, mir erzählt, dass Oskar nicht mehr, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Graz zurückgekommen ist. Halten ihn die Psychologen für vollkommen normal. Aber sie hat das Gefühl, seit seiner Rückkehr mit einem Fremden zusammenzuleben.
You can't make out a word of this gibberish.
No i chyba mamy tu nieco antroponetycznego przesłuchu.
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Er kann doch auch nächstes Jahr zur Akademie gehen.
Is that what you call those radio spookers? Didn't know they had a technical name. Either way, you gotta keep it up till we get through.
Okręt wojenny koalicji łucznik, tu porucznik Dubois, jeśli mnie słyszysz, potwierdź odbiór.
Again.
Okręt wojenny koalicji łucznik, tu porucznik Dubois, potwierdzacie odbiór? Kim?
A slight frisson at the point where your neck meets your spine. You can feel the lieutenant's presence, even though he's nowhere to be found.
Kim, jak ty się wciąłeś w moje połączenie?
Wow. The cop's own partner is a
Nie
radio
mówcie, że Kim nie żyje.
That's some other core business right there.
Someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Kim, odpowiedz mi.
No use, man. Don't think he can hear you.
Spotkałem się już z czymś podobnym. To antroponetyczny przesłuch, fragmenty przeszłości wcinające się w nasz sygnał.
What?
It's been a long winter. Long and cold.
What have you gotten us into, lawman?
Just run. Unplug that headset and get as far away as you can.
Natürlich halten ihn die Psychologen
Może
für
powinniśmy
vollkommen
spróbować
normal.
jeszcze raz później? Nie, i co możemy na to poradzić?
You just have to embrace the spookiness. Now give it another go.
Okręt wojenny koalicji łucznik, potwierdzacie odbiór? Tu porucznik Dubois.
But someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired.
Dubois, please acknowledge.
Łucznik, tu porucznik Dubois, słyszycie mnie?
Liebling, bitte. Er ist unser einziges Kind. Where's die Warte? Please identify.
The signals are getting increasingly mixed. Plucking Archer's signal from this will be like isolating a single strand from a tangle of hair.
This isn't looking good. The radio spookers are winning.
Co możemy zrobić?
Don't know. If we can't get around the interference, we're in deep trouble. Hold on. I think Ed gave me some sort of checklist. Says here, main step, volume to the max. That's not too helpful. Okay. It also says, inspect connections for hardcore clarity. So let's try
Jak mam
that.
sprawdzić te połączenia?
My guess, you climb up the centaur, man. See if there's anything obviously interfering with them. Maybe you've got some technical law science.
Someone has been maintaining it.
Come on, son. This isn't anything but a common high bar. Just get a solid overhand grip and hoist yourself up. Images of your body smashed against the pavement
Dobrze do
flood your
dzieła.
mind. This is dangerous.
Oj. Oj. Pani to jebnie.
Your gloves give you a solid grip on the metal bar. This feels pleasingly familiar. Keep it together, champ. You've got this.
Dziwnie epicki ten quest, jak na poboczny.
And before you know it, you're safely perched.
Przyjrzyj się łączeniom.
The connection itself is nothing more than a little braid of exposed wire wrapped about the hoof of the horse. A copper fetter it cannot slip. The whole monument is covered in a thin but durable layer of oil and grime. It's obvious no one has cleaned it in years.
Well, what's it look like?
Cały ten pojemnik jest pokryty jakimś dziwnym tłuszczem. Chyba nie robi to dobrze łączeniom.
That's not good. We should have cleaned the centaur man first. Pretty rude that we didn't. Hang on, I'm looking at Egg's checklist. He says, if all fails, bend antenna. Narrow is the hardcore way. That make any sense to you?
Czego powinniśmy użyć do wygięcia anteny?
Says here, muscle style.
Jak to ma nam pomóc?
Good question. Maybe he's saying we're casting too wide a net. Gotta narrow our receiving band so we pick up the big bad without the spookers. Since you're already up there, I say you should do it.
The speed freak is right. The responsibility is yours and yours alone. There's no turning back now.
To się nie uda. Spójrz na Filipa III.
You are face to face with Philip III. The Bronze King looks toward the west. Something about his features seems bizarrely distorted. His imperious gaze leads you naturally to his outstretched hand, which, for some reason, strikes you as sadly empty.
Zamocuj szablę.
To your surprise, the sabre's hilt fits quite snugly in the statue's hand. The king cuts quite the triumphal figure now.
Wow, this is a huge leap forward for hardcore style. Good work.
Spójrz na konia.
This faithful steed is in nearly as poor a condition as its rider.
Spójrz w górę.
A clear sky. The kind of day where anything might happen. Across the river, you can see coalition warship. A few of the idle lorry drivers and strikebreakers gesture at you with their cigarettes, more out of curiosity than anything else. From the window of one of the adjacent apartment buildings, an older woman leans out, her heavy breasts sagging. She yells a single word
Dobra,
you
próbujemy.
can't make out, and then
28%.
shuts the window with a violent thunk.
Fail. Oczywiście, że fail. Nie miało być tak pięknie. Rozjebiemy konia. I tak upada monarchia.
You allow the broken hunk of metal to clatter to the ground. It wasn't clear to you it did anything anyway.
Nein, Liebling.
Huh? Sounds like that was a false move. Signal's even worse now.
Przepraszam, chciałem zrobić coś dobrego.
The thing is, trying's not enough. Now it's the results that count.
He's right. This was your responsibility.
I'm gonna turn all the dials to maximum. Probably gonna burn out our power supply, but that might be the only way.
A maelstrom of sound, swirling and swirling around an invisible point. It's mounting, mounting.
Nicht mehr derselbe ist, seit er auf einem Luftschiff aus Grab zurückgekommen ist.
Ech,
Lieutenant Dubois, please respond.
It's too much. Your eardrums are throbbing, about to burst.
A long winter, long and cold.
And then nothing.
Try it now.
okręt wojenny Klicji Łucznik to porucznik Harrier Dubois z Moru. Potwierdź odbiór.
This is Warship Archer. We are acknowledging and accepting you. Though we're still getting quite a bit of interference.
This is as good as it's gonna get. I'll keep us aligned as long as I can, but this isn't a social mission. You got it?
There is so much you wish you could ask, but you probably only have time for 1 or 2 questions before the signal is lost.
Please be advised that you are speaking on a public frequency. What is your request?
Podejrzewam, że jak będę to przyciągał, to faktycznie rozerwie połączenie. Posłuchaj, muszę pilnie skontaktować się z Komitetem Odpowiedzialności.
Acknowledge. To reach the committee, all you need to do is fill out the appropriate request form and submit it to the liaison for public affairs. If the liaison accepts your request, you will be invited to address the committee at their next quarterly public hearing. We believe the next hearing is scheduled for July.
She's got to be jerking your chain, right? You can't wait that long.
72% przekonuję, że musisz porozumieć się z komitetem.
This isn't about you. Not really. It may have been at a certain point, but you've let go of that perspective. This is about your responsibility to all of Revachon. Now, take a deep breath. Look upward. You don't have to bear the burden alone.
Posłuchaj mnie, sytuacja w Martinez jest wyjątkowo zła, giną ludzie, a jeśli koalicja nie interweniuje, zgonów będzie coraz więcej.
What? How do you know this?
Zostałem niedawno wmieszany w brutalne starcie związku z grupą zatrudnionych przez Wild Pines najemników.
Lieutenant Dubois, this is a very serious claim. Please describe the situation as succinctly as possible. We will forward your summary to the committee.
There's papers rustling in the background. She's clearing her desk, preparing to take notes. There, you've wedged your foot in the door. Now, if you can show the coalition how much they're needed, they'll have no choice but to intervene.
Przede wszystkim Wild Pines całkowicie zamknęło się. Nie. Wild Pines kompletnie nie poradzili sobie z opanowaniem paramilitarnego szwadronu śmierci, które zatrudnili.
Please continue. We're listening.
Po obu stronach konfliktu doszło już do strat. Port jest zamknięty, przedstawicielka Wild Pines zniknęła. Jest bardzo źle.
Good God. Is there anything else the committee should know?
If the lieutenant were here, he would remind you that you don't speak only for yourself, but the entire RCM. What you say now will reflect on all of your half-brothers and sisters.
Skoro już pytasz, dowiedziałem się czegoś bardzo dziwnego o ofierze morderstwa, w sprawie którego prowadzę dochodzenie.
We are listening. What did you learn about the victim?
Dobre zabrzmienie psychol. Słyszałem, że z dalekiego zachodu nadciąga coś cudownego.
Oh dear, you seem to be losing the thread. No, this is right. Who doesn't long to believe in miracles?
Come again? Something miraculous, you say?
Konkretniej to z południowego zachodu.
We're afraid we aren't quite following. Who told you all this exactly?
Posłuchaj, najważniejszy jest cud. Zapisałaś chociaż tyle?
No, Lieutenant.
Dlaczego?
We're not. Because what you're saying makes no sense.
Zjebaliśmy.
From the sound of your voice, it appears that you have been under the influence of alcohol. It is our recommendation that you speak with your station Lazarette immediately about treatment options.
Get a load of Buzzkill FM over here. Are you really gonna lay off the party sauce just because some chick on the radio told you to?
We will pass along a summary of your report, minus any speculative or paranatural elements. What the committee does from there is beyond our control.
Czyli to tyle.
We're afraid so. But we must say that it has been a privilege to speak with you. You've shown yourself to be a credit to the RCM, and we wish you good fortune and safety.
Zaraz wychodzę, co Krzysiu?
Her wishes are sincere. You can take heart from that, at least.
Now, the
Jak
first
tylko skończy ten
signaler has
dialog.
informed us that we must update the receiving frequency. This connection will be cleared in 4,
Poczekaj, nie ma innego sposobu?
2, 1. Après le monde, le gris.
Après le gris, le monde encore.
And the line goes quiet.
Took a dark turn there. Told you we shouldn't have gone and aligned ourselves with the big bad. Gonna need some seriously hardcore ablutions to wash this shit off. Now come down here and give me an hand with this gear, would ya?
Daj mi tylko chwilę.
The sun-warmed bronze tingles beneath your fingertips and between your thighs. Your legs have grown stiff. You've been up here quite a while. You look around. The strikebreakers are still shouting their slogans and waving their hand-painted signs. But you could stay a while longer if you wanted.
Poczekajmy.
Out on the bay, a pair of dinghies
Dobra,
bob and
przeczytam
roll
sobie
further
szybko.
out. A few dirty icebergs drift to and fro. Further still, at the outer edge of your recognizance, the ancient ruins of the sea fort lay piled on the horizon.
Come on! My leg's starting to twitch. Means we've been here too long.
He's right.
Zejdź na
There's
ziemię.
really nothing more for you up here.
About time. You grab that amp, forget the cables. Need to leave some evidence of our antenna to inspire future generations. Alright, Copman. We've held up more than our share of this collaboration. I hope you recognise how much the hardcore underground came through for you.
If you want to show your appreciation, we can still use your help. Egg is the one to talk to. Hardcore! Mutual aid!
Nie zawiadomo ich braci w hardkorze.
Sure. You have to say that now, but it's alright. I'll put this tech away later. Think there's an extra can set, in case you want to grab a souvenir or something.
Weźmy sobie pamiątkę. Specjalistyczne słuchawki. Dobra. Zepsujemy. Zajebiście rozwinięty był ten quest. Nie spodziewałem się, że będzie aż tak długi. Ale na dzisiaj to tyle. Może jutro skończę tą grę w końcu. Nadal nie wiem, kto zabił. Nie mam nic, żadnego pomysłu. Ale może się jutro uda. Na dzisiaj to tyle.